Hello, my name is Larry Casso. I want to welcome you once again to my studio. We're going to do a scene tonight, begin a scene that's very dear to my own heart. It's Lafitte's Blacksmith shop in New Orleans. I had the privilege of going by it literally thousands of times. It's pretty much in the middle of the French Quarter, and I actually went to school across the street and a half a block down from it, so I went by it every morning. But it was in the center of the quarter, and I had an aunt that lived in the quarter. My grandmother lived in the quarter. I grew up a lot in the quarter, so it's amazing how you grow up with all of this and you study it, and it leaves such a permanent impression. However, my favorite story about it that meant a lot to me, is the sound okay out there, Joe?
Yeah.
Was the fact that it was my bread and butter painting all the way through art school. And I couldn't begin to tell you how many half-page sheets I did of this thing for $50. And they had in our subdivision, there wasn't a house out there that didn't have one. And man, I just peddled those suckers and had a lot of fun with it. What we're going to do tonight is we're kind of limited on the time for our first evening. So we're going to do just this right section over here. It's quite exciting. It's extremely dark, and one of the things, a little piece of advice for you if you ever want to paint the quarter, the biggest thing you have to do is not be afraid of really, really dark shadows. And I always loved this particular view because of the way this came down. This was natural. Just brought your eye back here and just kind of carried you throughout the entire, almost like a reverse G. So without anything else to say about that matter, let's see if we can drop this down a little bit.
It's on yeah, could it come to you?
Well,
yeah.
looks
Okay.
like we missed some of our recording, but
That's okay. It's on.
we did that on purpose. We wanted it to reach this kind of a panorama and let you get different shots in the beginning, and you'll get to see the conclusion of it. That's always the best part. Now I've got to come over here. Normally I like to take my paper and turn it upside down, but since I have enough room to come in here like this,
The old light post.
just going to come on, do it like this here. All right, and then we're just going to come right on across here. Well, I loved everything about that. You know, every time I go back and I read these, I look at the books, and I tell you what, I got a book on what I was really excited about doing this more than anything else is one of my recent books I got on John Singer Sargent's watercolor show that they had last summer when one of my students, Fred Grace, was over there, and he bought the book, and then my daughter gave it to me for my birthday, I think, or whatever, Father's Day. And it's got some old Venetian scenes from when Venice was really, really run down. And what, you know, this would have been like in the 1800s, late 1800s. And New Orleans was that way all the time I was growing up until I really started going to art school. And that's when all the big renovation projects started, and of course, they had strict standards. You had to build everything. New Orleans was kind of unique in that it had original drawings in watercolor and painted of all the early buildings after the last Great Fire, and they still do. In fact, I think Mr. Hayes' Town, when he was a WPA project to restore the drawings, I think that he headed that. And so,
Hey, isn't that pretty? Gee whiz.
I'll drop this down just a little bit. Hold this okay where everybody can see it. All right. Now, this is when I get serious.
Man, I thought we were serious a while ago.
No, we're getting a little bit more serious.
More serious.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have me a little bit of cough
Yeah, you
syrup.
gotta warm up there. Your hand.
I feel,
Oh, you
if you don't mind, thank you. I'll do it for you next time.
That's
Yeah, when that temperature,
I love art lessons. God, I love art
that
lessons.
temperature gets kinda
It's been nippy. hasn't it?
uncontrollable, man. We have
It
a
was
doctor that
nippy
takes
in
in this
August,
class,
what
and
you talking about?
she prescribed some medication that works every time.
That's right.
Thank goodness, because I never will forget that night. Joe Lackey was sitting up in the front of class
Well, it was cold.
with a blanket around him, painting,
Yeah.
and had a blow dryer running on his feet.
Oh, man.
That's one of those old U-Haul
That
blankets
must have
that I
been a
think
record
somebody
low
must
around
have
here.
stole from
I
U-Haul.
don't, Joe, I don't know how they got here. People move stuff in and out.
I have no idea. But it was warm. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
that's like those blankets they give you on
Well, that's
airplanes.
what's good about having a doctor
Come on.
around that tells you what to do, man.
Only in first class.
Only in first class gets them now?
Gets the worm blanket.
Oh, okay. The others just get kind of,
Gets flimsy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't.
Well, let's see
do
what this
that.
looks like. I just can't wait, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Tom, Dick, and Harry has had this blanket. Oh, no, it's gotta be wrapped in plastic. Oh, okay. Then it'll be okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, don't use
now
that.
that's watercolor.
See, that's what you got to do when you do
Yeah,
French Quarter now.
You can't back off.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh.
Need a glass.
Gary, you missing it in here?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I guess if I sat in Sarah's seat, I could come represent her. Huh?
That's
Well,
right.
Yeah,
Sure
and
do.
say
You have to
sweet
say-
things, because
Yeah,
she's
and-
very sweet.
Sarah's here, I know.
And then talk about the voices.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, don't underestimate sweet Sarah.
No, I'm not blind.
Right, Joe?
That's like underestimating sweet Doris.
That's
Don't do that.
Where did the,
That's exactly
where did
right.
I say the fungus? Where's the
Oh,
fungus?
here, I just-
I'll get it.
It's
Where is
right
it?
down there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Please
Ooh,
look.
man.
Bag in the box.
Am I excited about this? Oh, Lord, I'm not gonna sleep tonight. But I would never dare work on this thing during the week. Y'all
say,
know.
Oh,
but you
no, I
better
hear you.
not.
You know that. And see, what I love about this, it's kind of drying on me. And so, man, I'm gonna be able to start working some of this nice little dry brush texture over it.
Yeah, I can do that over there. And make those blend together. And he's just,
God, I think I'm really getting it, man. I'm really, it's gonna be something to see with. Hey, look,
add some blue.
don't talk now. I mean, I don't just share this with everybody, but me and John Singer Sargent been talking on a regular basis, and he talks back to me now.
That's the voice of Mogan David, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. And you won't let me finish the painting before it's time.
I think I see Marie Laveau looking around the corner. In there.
Oh.
That little dark area.
You know, it's funny how when you grow up in New Orleans with the voodoo and all, I lived close to a cemetery one time, and Marie Laveau was buried in that cemetery. It was in Ninth Ward, and man, when we'd go, the legend was that there was a little metal thing hanging down that you put a candle in, and that it was always moving. And I tell you what, it was always moving, whether it was always
moving or not.
It really was, man. We were so scared when we go in there.
Boy, that's a really rich color.
Isn't that rich?
Indeed.
Wow,
Awesome.
man.
Is that gouache?
You know what, Joe?
Don't know.
No, I think I've been using this.
Yeah,
But I've been using some
color
gouache.
is it?
Yeah, this
But
is
it could be, Joe.
This is lizard crimson.
Yeah.
Is it lizard
Just
crimson?
makes it
But it's just plain lizard crimson.
What'd you mix it with?
plain old watercolor.
Well, he mixed it with burnt sienna, a little bit of ultramarine blue. I think that was it.
Oh man, this is just. I'm gonna start diluting a little bit. Probably could have started doing that sooner, but I don't know. I just fell in love with those rich darks, and I just.
Well, this
The heck
is,
with it, I'm
this
going
is pretty
for it.
dark. Now that's just that's almost black down there.
Okay. So I already like this better. There's one thing, I probably wasn't using real good paint at that time because we didn't know any better. Oh, but when.
Well, I like that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, one of the things I'm gonna use on this thing, that, well, I tell you what.
I think
got-
these
you got
reflected
stuff.
lights in these, this blue and these windows is real important.
Yeah, it really is. And I decided I'm gonna do those opaquely, and that way
Yeah,
I could
that's
continue to do
fine.
this. Now, since we're on a roll, let's just come on over here, put a little yellow in it, just to perk it up a little bit. All right, and let's just go ahead,
Okay.
put in some of this over here. I may go to
Now, we're
smaller.
gonna be plumb out of the picture.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Joe. So we're just gonna have to slide this sucker right on over. Man, that is gonna be some rich. Okay, now since we just have a few minutes, I wanna do something on the safe side. Now see, I like a little more brilliance in that brown, so we're gonna put a little bit of
He
red
fusses
in it.
at me about my bright colors again.
Yeah, but Joe,
He's going out on a limb
the
now.
last couple of times, you
think
made
I-
him
think I-
more,
we-
you
we're
made him
not
more
concerned.
American looking,
I
man.
think maybe I've taught him something after all these years.
Something over those
Oh,
colors.
no, Kami Pinko paintings.
Gary, man, I tell you what. Gary brings that surf talk in here.
Yeah, we miss Gary when he's not here, I tell you what.
Yeah,
Gary's
that was
Gary's-
Archie Bunker talking.
running around on these strange other nights and things.
Those Kami Pinko dude paintings.
I do like this.
Uh-huh.
Now see, this is where you really have an advantage in having 25 years in between the last time you did this.
I do occasionally.
But you know, I sold this one. There was a lady named Kathy Kittle, a very dear friend. We still keep in touch with them. And for a while there, I had a few teachers working with me, and she was one of them. And regretfully, she had to, they moved. They had a farm that they inherited or were going to inherit, so they went back to go back into the wheat business or whatever they grew in Iowa. I think it was wheat. And, oh man, this is so much fun.
And she bought the last one? Yeah, is that what she said?
Yeah, and then she came back here on a trip and she bought it.
You gotta call her and tell her
But
you
I
got
was
another one.
telling her, I sold it,
while.
I sold it, a lot of them.
Well, I've sold 3 or 4, at least
Oh,
4
yeah.
of these.
That's right.
I sold one last year at the Yellow Leaf Festival last year. They
Yeah,
came in
the thing, you
before we
you
moved
just,
up.
you just have to decide. There's times I'm in the mood to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And I like to do it, and there's times that I'm really not. And, so I think that if you have to do them just to sell them, even though it's, wait a minute now.
Like A.J. Shakespeare says, his Boilermaker.
That's exactly what we used to call them, pot boilers.
Hot boilers.
Well, boiler makers or whatever.
Yeah,
That's right. You just takes the fun out of it. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave a little bit of this up here. Well, I got that part in there, and then, we can take a little bit of the blue and red now. Let's put a little more blue in it.
Good start.
Well, we've got 5 minutes. I mean, we can get a lot done in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
That meant more.
See, I already sharpened yours. My little system's working, man. It really did. I just think about it when I go by. And, oh man, you see, I got that orangey color in there. Now I'm coming back, and I'm putting that cool color right up against it.
Oh, yeah.
It's running a little bit, but that's the brakes. Oh, look at how pretty that is. Okay, now, and then I got I'm gonna do this a little bit lighter up here for the roof. Now I've gotta leave a little white there, so
Oh, cool.
I don't
Well,
want
I
to
really like this color right
Isn't that pretty?
That is a gorgeous color.
Man, I'll tell you that, it shocked me.
Where that thing dries and you put those opaque blue windows in on it there, and it's gonna be real pretty.
Okay, and then I'm just just gonna leave that white area because we have just a little bit more to do there. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I believe that's a good stopping point. Let's see what that thing looks like with that big mat on it. Wait a minute, I don't have one.
You don't have a
Bless the heart.
sheet?
Pam gave me she caught one special for me.
She says you're cutting it
deaf
short.
girl finished a big painting and looked at me real sweet. And there was no way I could turn it down.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm gonna put my name on my little cup.
Or you could get a shoestring and tie it around your neck.
no, this is. I mean, I feel like we've just moved up a whole notch.
Yeah, we just kicked
If
it up
I'd
a notch.
known, I would have thrown some of those in sooner. I didn't
Okay.
think about it. Gonna have their name.
Man, look! You know what I love? Look at how all
No,
this
of course
is
not.
really working.
I tell you, when you put those greens in there.
Oh
man.
yeah, that's the whole idea to have those rich
It's
purples.
right there.
I think we'll go ahead and call this one finished for tonight, and certainly enjoy. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Joe. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to welcome you again to this Thursday night painting class. We're going to continue with our painting of Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop. And let's see if we can just bring the screen in just a little bit. Okay, and kind of get this set up correctly the way we want it. Okay, now we're going to start on this side of our building over here. So maybe we can just pull this over just a little.
We're on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're going to, let's just move this over just a little bit and get it in the middle of the screen. We'll come
Can't
down.
lose the stuff we use.
I've always, as I told y'all, this was my bread and butter painting when I was going to school. And one of the most fun parts that I love was having, you don't even have this banana tree there now, you know, it's different every time you go back down there. But I love doing these slates. Now, one of the little tricks about doing this type of roof is to remember that the house is built such that this roof here, if you looked at it on a front view, it goes up. What do they call those kind of roofs? And then comes back down like that.
That's a hip roof?
Yeah, that's a hip roof.
Yeah.
And so what you
That's a
do
hip roof, yeah.
is you always start, you find your center, that's with the perspective, it'd be a little bit further back, and you come down and do this. Okay, and all you have to remember is all your slates now are going to follow this perspective. You see?
Now, how did you establish that
But
line?
this is the middle, and then I took the perspective and I found about where the middle would be normally, and then because it's in perspective, it's going to be back a little bit further. So I just moved it on back. Okay, now,
Phacometrics.
first thing we're going to do,
You got inspiration.
Did she get that in her notes, phacometrics?
Joe, don't overwhelm her the first night.
We'd like her to come back.
I want her to get the vocabulary right in this thing,
Well,
though.
then include inspiration.
Now, this particular painting, again, just to review everyone's memory about it, we're using 5 basic colors. Burnt sienna, cadmium yellow light, cadmium red light, ultramarine blue, that's 5, I think. Hooker's green, no,
Green.
that's 5. And then we're also adding black, white, and I use alizarin crimson as another color because you can't get pink from any other color. So I'll put my black, and I'll put my alizarin crimson. I'm glad glad it wasn't too cold tonight because I was out of that
You
stuff.
mean
that
you're
we
out of the
did.
sauce?
Yep.
are we gonna do?
My.
That's
Okay.
one of the reasons we have so much fun.
You need something, bud? Yes, okay. So we're gonna start. Now, I like to just come in with these roofs, and I'm gonna start with a light ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson. First thing I wanna do is I wanna separate it from the sky. And so I'm just gonna come on down like this, and this will dry very, very light. Let's just go ahead and separate it from. And you don't have to waste a lot of time on this. I bet you I did at least 50 of these things going to school, or more. I have no idea, man. I just fast as I do them, people would buy them. You know, it's a matter because I worked, went to school and all, and I had a very limited amount of time to do my own painting. But of course, it's as we found out. You all have told me before. You've never done a painting of New Orleans that somebody didn't buy.
Oh, yeah, that's
And it goes on, and it's just a shame. I'm glad we got all the pictures, because I don't think I'm going to be ready to go down there for a long time. Not just walk around in broad daylight.
Does that happen in the French Quarter?
Oh, everywhere. Yeah, I mean, they say it doesn't.
The shootings?
I know it, you know. And I mean, not, you know, we don't want to dwell on it, but that from the standpoint that it's just something that's going to have to be dealt with, if it ever is dealt with. But they run the city.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who can comprehend living in a place where there is no law, there's no order?
Well, you got a DA that stepped down this week.
Yeah.
That was one good piece of news.
Does
Yeah,
that?
that right.
Jordan resigned.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in Lauren's report, he said that the employment was back up.
Unemployment's back up.
Back to
Oh, no,
almost what it
people,
was.
You know, I heard of, I mean, people are going to come back to New Orleans. I can tell you that right now. There's nothing going to stop them. A good example, I heard Blaine Kern, is that his name, the one that does the floats and all? And he's been around a long time. And he was talking about his daughter his son-in-law was an architect, and he was teaching at different really Ivy League schools up there, and really very successful in what he did. And his daughter told him, she said, "Daddy, I want to come back to New Orleans." And he said, "I don't think you'd want to come to New Orleans, not with all the crime and all that." She said, "Daddy, I want to come back to New Orleans." He said, "Well, why?" She said, "Well, let me give you an example." He said, "I'm going to take the children and get outside, walk them down the street, and I walk by." And he said, "You say hello to people, they look at you like you're crazy, and they might give you a nod or whatever, but they really don't want to have anything to do with you." And I've been there. I know what that's like. And she said, if you were in New Orleans walking down the street anywhere, first thing you'd do, you'd meet somebody, they'd say, "Well, where you at, darling? And how you doing? What you got going?" You know, and all this typical kind of street talk we all know about. And that really is the difference. And people really care. I mean, the real New Orleans people. I have one of my longest students that started in 1973.
And how old are you?
77, and she was.
Gary, how about a seat?
No, I'm fine.
Gary just hobbles around. It's awful.
I had a group down from a bunch of business guys from up north,
Yeah.
and I was going to take them over to Lafitte's Landing for lunch. And so it was back when the days when you had to go, when you went across the bridge, you had to still had to pay a toll. So I was driving my car, and a company car, and I had all the guys in there, and so I paid the toll, and I visited with the toll taker for quite a while.
Nice.
We used to have a lot of give and take back. Boy, they said up north you'd never do that. I said, well, you know, good old boy, we just visited a little bit, find out what's going on.
Sarah, is this going to be in any kind of paper where we could read it? Or is this like...
Yeah, maybe. She's beginning to wonder.
No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine.
I think it's getting right. interesting.
Yes, is he gonna be in the reveille?
Yeah. Oh, it's not spicy enough for the reveille.
You're right.
You don't know
about
how she
that.
writes.
I don't like trying. She might get it going.
I might
Okay.
You know, that's been done before.
Yeah, we'll help you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna drop down, I think I got one more. Let's try my little small 1/4" flat brush. Now, that slate can be any color you want it to be, okay? So I'm just gonna start off with some pretty wild colors.
No.
And it really, in fact, I need to do some with a bigger brush, and then I'll come down to that smaller brush. And this is just so much fun. I'll do a trial area
Yeah.
just to
I'm having fun
see if
watching.
I'm
I
gonna,
am too.
Me too.
if I'm gonna make it or not.
I like the way those colors
Uh-huh.
separate out.
Me too.
Isn't that something?
That's ultramarine and burnt sienna.
Actually, I think I have the red in the burnt sienna. And then every now and then you just leave one solid like that.
I like that
And,
brush there too.
yeah, and what you do is you just stagger them, you know, you make, now I'm gonna go in a little bit more with the ultramarine. I just wanted to be able to tone down a little
Y'all
bit.
see, huh?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
I can see it on the TV.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Actually, you get to see it right side up on the TV.
Mm.
You can see it on the screen, okay?
Oh, yeah.
How's my head?
No, perfect.
It's
Good.
not in there.
The main thing I gotta just remember is about what value I want, see, because you can always come back over it. I missed that there, but I like right here, even that little white edge stand out, and then sharpen these edges like that. Okay, and let's go, I like that quite a bit. Let's go a little bit more with the alizarin and all, but I'm putting a little bit more, now, here I'm gonna put a little more burnt sienna across this area just to make it a little bit more interesting. Now, it all looks the same, but like y'all was saying, watch when this thing starts drying. You're gonna see it's gonna really fall into place and be exactly what you want it, what I want it to be, hopefully. Yeah, they were talking about on the radio, 30,000 people tailgating up in Alabama for that game. They said they got an area where they have a gigantic screen, and they welcome the people to come. And I don't know what I'd feel about that myself, man.
Y'all could set up shop. Y'all could set up shop.
You can sell like that.
Sell some.
Well, they've been getting a lot of
Look,
fun.
you could have LSU painting on one side, flip it over, and a Bama painting on the
Yeah,
other.
good, yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
In black velvet.
The velvet Elvis.
Turn on the blue light, the man wears a blue suit.
Look, you got that hat on. That's that.
That's it.
Paul Bear Bryant. wore
Bear
that,
Bryant, oh,
did
yeah,
you
the
see?
bear. That's right, man. I'm wearing my hat.
You might sell more paintings you've ever sold.
Well, my gracious.
Okay, now I'm gonna come on down and just even this off a little bit. Now see, I'm gonna do just a small part of it, you know, depending on the amount of time. I'd like to get this done, but we're not gonna be in a hurry on this one.
Oh,
'cause
no, man,
this is a real learning experience. Now, I like to get a little bit more of the yellow in there, just to make some of them a little bit more orangey looking. As you have to remember, they come in every color. And I think I've got a little trash mixed in with it, so doesn't matter. A little trash never hurt anything.
Well, actually, what is slate? Is that what these
It's a
are?
And this
Clay,
isn't
yeah,
slate,
some type of
this
clay.
would be, this is slate here. Slate would be just like,
Oh, yeah, it's mined and
Yeah.
It's a rock.
it's
Yeah.
mine, yeah, just like you
Like-
mine
I
the
got a
marble.
box of it at home. I'm supposed to paint some paintings on. I've had it about 10
Well,
years.
Joe, don't go backwards. Slate painting.
What do you use?
Spent
to
25
paint on
years,
that?
sir, trying to
Acrylic or-
Acrylic, yeah.
give them a little culture, man.
We got very little.
And they want to paint Elvis Presley
Got some
stuff.
Chicago brick.
I mean,
I'm
you
gonna-
know,
I'm
you
gonna
just
paint
kind of
some
wonder
on
sometimes if your life's been
black-
wasted in vain.
Black velvet.
Maybe it's because they just got very little culture here.
But
Depends
you
on
put
what you have
Elvis
to
on
work
black.
with.
You put Elvis on black velvet, man. You can sell him in a minute.
You know, he still made more money than anybody else.
Isn't that
did
amazing?
last year.
Yeah, isn't that
Something
something?
really funny is.
Yeah, well, I saw him at Albertsons the other day.
Bye.
Hey, enjoyed it so much.
How about you guys?
Gary, walk 'em out.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do you much
Get
good.
old Crip to walk him
Gary.
out. You hit him with your cast.
I could throw it at him. And you take this with you and just leave it on the table.
Oh, yeah. Hit him with the crutch. My grandson uses crutches. He always talk about hitting him with his crutch. He runs over with his wheelchair.
Where's Pellet?
Had to come out here and find out when.
Yeah, there's too much fun going on out here.
No, I just wanna know when the Elvis class is.
Oh,
So
I
it's,
see. Well, we got to get some black velvet.
Does that come in an aerosol
What,
can?
Tuesday afternoon will be a good time for us to talk about that other thing.
Okay,
More-
I'll just
well-
bring the kids and I'll,
Then, well, yeah, we paint too, you know, but I mean, we'll
I just don't know what, because her mom is on vacation, so I don't know what the schedule is for.
oh, okay, well, whenever it is,
Yeah.
no, whenever you come, okay?
Okay,
Yeah, whenever the next time, when you start coming, where it's a class, I'm not so busy.
okay, thank
We'll
you.
kind of get a plan going, okay?
Yeah, that will be fantastic.
Great, look forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. Bye.
You guys have a good week. Where are you from?
I don't know, she told me today, she wanted me to help her with the portfolio. Oh, man, I tell you what, now it looks
Yeah,
checkerboard
it's
looking
doing
now.
it. No, it's doing it.
And she's now considering an option to come to school in America
Ah.
and go to an art institute here. So,
Where is she from?
Germany. Oh, you never tell it. I don't know. Look, and I had a student from Moscow that actually, everybody wants to come to America now. They all want to come to go to school. They want to get visas. You know, I mean, boy, we're just so blessed to be in the greatest country in the world. And but this one girl was so determined to come and visit her aunt. She actually got a book on English and taught herself English, and she has zero accent. And the people are just remarkable. And but I was telling her about, because you know, we just take. I mean, I just wish everybody could not just go see the touristy things, but go to places like I did in Sicily, where we had some of those Romanian kids or whatever, wherever they were from, and I never will forget the day that they walked out to set up things on the place where we were eating. They were going to have a little program, and they unfurled the American flag. And these children, I never will forget it as long as I live. They all started screaming and hollering, and they all ran down and they got on their knees and they bowed down and kissed that flag. Every one of those kids in that group. And this was right after they were liberated, you know, and were getting the freedom, and so anyhow, I'm thrilled that she's going to be with me longer, you know, because she's so bright. She did that whole black and white by herself on the sketch. I didn't even have to touch it. Pelin, yeah. I mean, no art background or anything, but they're just very disciplined. You know, and I don't think people in any part of the world are any more capable or intelligent than any other people, but their attitude about learning and so forth, so many times, I think, is where the difference comes in.
The motivation.
And they know they really understand what we have here better than the people that are here. This gets a little bit, seems like it gets a little bit monotonous, but when I'm gonna put the whammy on it in a minute, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This,
Great to see the
Sounds
whammy.
like
What do you
green.
think?
That sounds like
Yeah,
green.
where's either
No,
one?
I was thinking it sounded like red.
hey man, where is my green? Thank you, Gary.
Oh, God, that
We talked about it, but never did get it out there.
old moldy slate.
Is that satin green? I think it's green.
That's green.
Green, green. Must be that.
And see what I'll do later.
I just saw that.
Just,
Mm.
just give 'em a little touch here and there.
Well, this young lady's staying with a very wonderful family, and I think his family is from that part of Germany. Her husband, and so they have friends and acquaintances and things like that, and so that's how she got to come to America and be with that family for a year after she got out of high school.
I hope she gets to stay if she.
Oh, I think she will.
Wants to.
I think she will.
You know, but Germany right now is not a bad place to be.
Oh, no,
Oh
Germany's
man, you gotta be
Germany's
kidding.
fine.
Yeah, I love to visit them.
That's right. Now, as we come down a little lower now, this is going to start beginning to fan out a little bit. So, show you how we're going to handle this. We're going to start giving them
You caught on
a different
that.
perspective.
Yeah, I may want to get on that pencil recycling. Some of my old pencils from 1982 are getting kind of short.
I don't
There
think
you
it's
go.
gonna
Can we just put them back in there?
Put 'em
Just
in
the
this
sharp
side and
ones?
get
As
out
long as
one.
you only get out as many as you put in.
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh,
you
I
guys,
don't mind
Get your
that.
leg
you guys have all passed the stage. Stop this. This is just for me right now.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but we missed it when we were at your stuff.
So, it's too bad you didn't
We're
wait to
never
come
gonna
later
forget
in
it.
life.
Well, some of mine slipped through those holes in that old brown bag.
Those bags just last so long.
Yeah, I remember, Joe. That's why I
They
couldn't
get
have
kind of like crepe paper, you know, it's so soft after a few
After
years.
25 years.
That brown bag.
I'm
Some of it.
sorry.
That was before they had
I mean,
plastic, huh?
They could be giving you
Oh, they
something
invented plastic. That's
really
right.
fun to write about, you know. I'm telling you what, it's embarrassing.
That was beat.
I never would let them go anywhere. They wanted to all buy, we're from the BRFAA t-shirts, and I refused to let them buy them, man. I didn't want to be associated with all that nonsense.
We're from
I
Barf.
always wanted to be able to say, you know, we were
Does she know Miss Doris?
Doris Trailer.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't know. Saw Doris
Well, I took
last
him-
night.
I
Her
took
and the
them to
whole
a
family.
fancy place in the French Quarter called Jimmy Buffett's. And they had church pews in there. Everybody to sit on. They were really long. And we got through eating. And who do I turn around and see climbing over the back of the pews
Yeah, I
to
couldn't
get out
imagine
in a
anybody
nice
doing anything
restaurant?
like that.
Joe Lackey and Doris Trailer.
Darn things are 40 feet long.
There's no other way out. They could have crawled under.
Well, we could have crawled under.
You needed GPS to find the other end.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Oh,
well, I love the way that red came out.
I
on
do
there.
put it in.
Isn't that awesome?
How did you do that?
that's
I
nice.
don't know. We'll have to look at the movie later.
Yeah, we will.
I'll
have to
never
look
remember
for it.
what I did.
That
for the
must
I really
be
don't, man.
Alizarin and Bernard, or
Have a sequel.
he must be coming back. He wouldn't just walk out.
Well, not only that, he wouldn't walk out with just that. He
Yeah.
came in with a load of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, now, coming along here, I'm gonna now see how I got them a little skinnier because they're curving out towards you now.
Okay, foreshortening. Look at
You
that.
see, and I'm just trying to give that little
Yeah.
The old foreshortened.
because it'll
Yeah.
it'll
I would
really
say I would never.
show up a little
Well,
bit
I
better.
wondered
I mean,
why they
Sarah-
were getting skinny.
Helps me so
That's
much.
'cause he's
to
coming down
watch
like
you
this.
do
Oh,
it.
because
Well, that's the little
doing
things we
this.
all keep picking up, you know. And remember, I walk by this thing every day. I mean, ever since I could remember, I must have, with my grandmother living down there and spent a lot of time with them. You know, I probably went by this place 1,000 times in my
Yeah,
lifetime.
but you
you know.
actually look.
See,
And I
still
studied
would've
them, and
painted
I mean,
all
I
the
fell in
same.
love with it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do this last row down here because we're gonna have that really dark shadow under it. So I'm gonna do this last row really, really light. Yeah, we gotta,
Yeah, I
we'll
didn't
be
know
breaking
that's
up,
what it was out
we'll
there.
be breaking up in
I've
just,
got to go clean up my
Pack up.
stuff. Have you packed? You haven't packed up yet? Well, wait, I have to pack up too. There's no point in you rushing in there and
Well,
packing.
my stuff's spread out from yours.
Oh, I don't believe.
okay, now. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, cause I wanna just do a little section to show you how I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this.
We want to see that.
Because this is what really, really breaks it up nicely. It's like everything else, it always looks, gaudy looking when you first do this kind of stuff. But let me just take a little bit of black for the sake of speed. And
Oh,
come
and you
in.
just leave a little bit of the white.
And then a lot of places I don't leave any of it at all. You see, you just do this. Now you come here and do this, do this. Watch how it just starts popping
And
it up.
wow, isn't that just amazing?
You see?
So much fun.
And then you just, following those same basic lines. But you're correct, in other words, you leave, you can take, the stuff is too bright, you can take some of it out later. But that'll just kind of give me a little feeling for, I'll do the same thing in reverse here.
I love the way you do that, so with one stroke, solidly.
Yeah, and that's the key though,
And leave
Sarah,
it that
you
way. Yeah.
gotta just get in there and punch it in. Look at that now.
Mhm.
I'm really curious. I did this thing so many times when I was young. I'm really anxious to see what it's going to come out looking like. Now, last thing I want to do, tone some of these down a little bit. And see, I already know that there's going to be places, I'll just do this last part just to show you. You just can't be afraid of it. So I'm going to take the ultramarine blue and the burnt sienna now. I'm going to come back. And then I know that in here, make sure this is on the screen for me, Sarah.
It's
Well,
perfect. It's perfect.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to make all this little area over here darker.
Now, see,
Just
that
lose
is
it.
going to be so interesting
You
when
see,
you compare
that's
it
right.
to one that you did.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be like everything else. I think that last painting I did was really, really better.
Yeah, but you're going to be amazed at how good you were back then, too.
See, then I'm going to add a little water. And you just purposely just want to lose it. So you don't want everything to be...
And you make every one of them different. And
Mhm.
that is so enriching.
Yeah, it really will be, too.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll come over here and maybe take a few of these and, just kind of break it down every now and then, lose it, not make it too solid. I want it really dark up here, then it gets lighter and lighter as
So
it
it
goes
would
down.
be darker up at the top, wouldn't
Mhm.
it? Be weathered more.
Yeah, but for
It's
my
in
purposes,
shadow.
I'm just gonna have it in the,
There's a shadow that's
Yes,
cast.
exactly. And then so you come back over here and you make sure your roof is dark enough to make that white stand up. So,
Okay, and it's going to be sky behind that white.
yeah, that's right,
Okay,
exactly.
Blue sky.
That's where that's gonna end.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it, Miss Sarah. We love having you visit with us and look forward to you coming back anytime. You're welcome here. We'll just close this one down till next week. Casso again, welcoming you to our studio and, on Thursday night.
Isn't that pretty? I can't get over that.
Oh, me neither, Joe.
I
I want to
knew
look at that.
It almost looks marbleized.
Okay. Well, that was just one of those little happy accidents.
Yeah,
I think part of it has to do with its part,
Part wash and part
Yeah.
dark on it, you think?
you know what I'm missing? Okay, grab this right here. I'm gonna order some of my,
Waiting for bush and champagne.
We should have
some of
gotten
my
him a
good blue.
champagne glass to dip his water. His brush.
It's high-class painting.
There you
Okay.
go. That's right. Deserving of a really.
Now, we're going to continue where we left off last week. We got a little one more section I want to include in this right here to finish off where this tile is going to go. Now this tile, I learned a long time ago. I found out it was the way it was made, and there was a place over in where, if any of you are familiar with Fontainebleau State Park, well, it used to be close to a place where they had they made bricks there, and I found out that these things here, whatever you'd call these corner things or whatever, they were made like the bricks.
Yeah, probably caps, huh?
And how's that?
Little caps for the.
Caps on the corner of it,
Yeah,
and
where
for
it
the
comes
top,
together,
Joe.
so
That's
I
right.
think,
And let me
Are
just
they
look.
rounded?
Well,
Like
what they would
Venus?
actually do is they said that they would mold it, roll the stuff out, and then they'd roll it on this part of their leg, and that's how they made it. And
That's a shame.
and then they would, that's exactly right. I want you to notice how when you're doing things like this, a fellow that has, some people have more influence on you than others when you're painting. There was a gentleman, in addition to Ted Kalski, by the name of Herb Olson, that painted back in the 50s and had a couple of really successful books. And I learned a lot about doing bricks and this kind of stuff from him. He used a lot of lawn work. And I did a little bit of this last week, and I just want to refresh your memory on it. Are we okay on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, and you see I'm going to drag this. Now here's the thing you want to remember about if you're ever doing a hip roof like this. You're going to have a straight line that comes down here, and then this looks like it's in perspective, but this whole roof is leaning in. So what you want to do, you always, whatever you start here, you want to come across with the same perspective all the way across, okay? Just a little technical thing to remember. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
I don't understand about the leaning in.
How's that?
What do you mean?
Well, what you do is you put a straight line, and then it's going to be the same all over.
Okay.
And they just cut it at an angle when they did it, you see. So we're going to put this, and then, see, I like to just come in, antique. I love the colors I put on there last week. They just worked out real well. And then we'll put a few little sections like this, and
They all look like that.
just antique them a little bit. And we'll come across here. Now some of them I kind of overshot the mark and made them a little bit bigger. But see, by the time you get through doing all this kind of stuff to them, it really doesn't matter. It's going to pretty well look like it's supposed to look
Who's
anyhow.
counting shingles?
That's exactly right.
Well, not any of us.
No way.
We're not counting
Especially after we got that.
And we may get written up about it. I think she's taking names.
She's gonna compare us to a bunch of mathematicians.
Yeah.
Especially after we got that lubricant we all drank a few minutes ago, man.
In
I
my
don't want to
English
start
class,
counting
we had to-
anything.
We had to add up something. We're trying to figure out how old somebody was, and none of us could do it.
Yeah, these are
20 minutes later.
English people. They
Well,
can't
that's
do
a different
math.
side of your brain.
Okay, then we'll come down. Oh, man.
What?
I'm falling in love with this now. You see, as these things start swinging around, they're going to get a little narrower. And that's what I'm trying to pick up here. And then see,
I'm trying to send that
I'll
somewhere.
just loosen that up a little bit more.
Thank you.
Good thing I'm trying.
Sarah, now you hush.
It's a little bit loose.
Hey, enjoyed it, Alex.
Hey,
See you
good
next
night.
week, bud.
Good night.
And then our last thing we're going to do here, you see, notice how freely I'm just coming along here and breaking this up like this. Then I'm going to come back. Then every now and then we'll come back up, go a little bit higher with it. But I'm getting this thing set up to do some really crazy stuff in a minute that I love to do on this kind of thing. All right. Now, and also, let's make some of this a little bit sharper. Makes it look like it curves a little bit more. Okay, and then I might even just go ahead and put me another line in here, just for good measure. Just to kind of settle it down a little bit.
You're
Okay.
almost looking at that part of it on the side.
Now,
Claire, you're almost moving out of the screen.
okay,
It's a little bit high, but not bad.
over here. Oh, a little bit high. Okay, good. Thank you.
Just a smidgen.
And then lastly, I want you to notice how I'll come in, and on this side here, you're going to see these at a straight angle, and then again, it'll just kind of come up like that, you see. Generally, these things will be a little bit taller, but you see, you just suggested. That's all you need to do. Now, I don't want to get too much over into this because I've been dying to get into this thing tonight. So let's go ahead to our 1/2-inch brush, and I'm going to go with, let's get a little bit of our ultramarine blue, a little bit of that Elizabeth crimson. I think that's going to work real good. And the first thing I'm going to do is come in here. I'm going to carry this color all the way down, and let's just go maybe back to here. Lighten this a little bit more now. Now this is got a lot more color than I did. The last one of these I did was probably about 25 years ago. Now some of y'all, I don't think y'all remember, had a lovely, lovely family here, the Kittle family, and Kathy Kittle bought this, came back on a visit from Kansas. Her husband's family were wheat farmers up in Kansas, I think, and his father got ready with, I guess what the tradition is as your father gets to a point that he wants to get rid of the farm or do whatever, you can't buy that land. They're so big, no one could afford to just an individual go out and buy the land and start farming. So you quit whatever you're doing and you go back and farm, and that's what they did, and finished raising their family up there. So she came back on a visit and bought this. Last one that I did. So I'm glad I'm getting a chance to do it again. Got in the spirit too after I did that other one that we just did.
Where is that other one?
I've just got it put up for right now. I'm just getting, I guess I'm getting faster now or something like that. I don't know what it is, but boy, look at that now. I like that.
You got this Thursday night, a bunch pushing it.
Oh, I know it, man. I need it. Okay, now, don't know like that Kunes said, I don't want anybody, don't you catch a heart attack, no.
Oh, yeah. That red, I guess so. Whoa, gee, watch that.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Messed up now.
And then we're gonna come around here and just go right on over, because we found out a long time ago, you got to have a little red somewhere to
A
just
little?
kind of spikes it up a little bit. So we just took care of that little problem. Now, this is what I want to do here, that I love to do more than anything else on these pictures or paintings. Now let's just get a little bit of umber. And I like to just come in here, boy, and really start popping in these dark, dark shadows. So we're going to start, this is going to be almost pure pigment now. And I'm just going to let that baby run. Because you always have that overlap. And I'm just going to go straight on back here now and get this strong, strong dark area. Joe, I'm going over your famous window there, man. You could sell that window as many times as you painted it too, you know that.
Yeah, I need to paint that thing again.
There you go.
So you getting him all fired up to do it again?
I just put a different reflection in the window every time, see
No, you got it.
I got stuff reflecting in that window, ain't nowhere near that window.
It's the ghost.
Hey, that's right. You know that place is haunted.
Yeah.
You know it is.
No telling how many.
That's good money, guys.
Well, that's interesting. You know, I wish New Orleans would get straightened out.
Me too.
But I tell you what, man, we got to straighten out Baton Rouge first.
Hey, yeah.
You know,
Gosh.
'cause, man, I tell you what, when I caution y'all about let us walk you out, you really need to let us walk you out.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I'm
something
serious.
like that.
Well, see, we don't ever hear about it, but I mean, there's all kind of stuff going on right now. And it's just the time of the year, and they're just crazy.
It's that full moon.
And I don't like, I don't want to frighten people, but it's just the way it is. And Now, so we'll come in and put the side of it like this. See, it's getting dry to the stage that I can manipulate it. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it.
I do too. I just love it. You know how a lot of people do not know how to make those darks.
How's that?
How to mix those darks, mix that
Oh, you'd be
paint
amazed.
dark.
Mm-hmm.
They are totally baffled about how to do that. I hear that
They
all
really
the
are.
time.
They even watch you do it
Mhm.
when I do demonstrations.
Yeah,
They
they
just
can't believe
absolutely
it.
They
cannot
just
figure it
cannot
out.
figure it out.
But Joe, it's so contrary to
Yeah.
what's natural to them, you know. That's why. Shoot, man, I've got people who've been taken from me. It took 25 years, 20 years sometimes before they ever started really putting them darks in like they should.
Could you go to the light?
And
Well,
don't
they'd
you
figure
see
that
it?
roof was as dark as they'd figure
The
that
dark
roof
dark's
is
good.
way darker than they would ever do.
Exactly. Okay, now I think while I'm waiting for that to dry a little bit, you know what? I got some green. Let's have a little fun with our banana leaves. Now, I love these. I studied those banana leaves. I walk by that building every day going to school for 3 years, and I tell you what, oh man, I think that's, how's it look on the screen?
It's
Looks
fantastic.
wonderful.
Does it
That
look
way
like
it's red.
like a madman's doing?
Isn't that wonderful? I love that. That's the only watercolor will do that.
Yes. Okay, now, since I'm waiting for this to dry, light look okay?
Yeah, and the lights that you left in those shingles. Is that what those
Think
are?
that looks okay?
That is wonderful. That is,
Good.
I mean, that is giving it such a freshness.
I don't even know if this banana tree is here because they plant them and get rid of them, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But let me just show you a few little things
Yeah,
quickly about doing banana trees
we believe they're there.
that you can really start simplifying. Like we'll do this, and then we'll. I'm gonna start with the lighter color first, okay? And then we'll come back and break it up a little bit. Okay, now some of it we want to leave just almost pure white, and this is fun. Come down like this, and come around here, leave a little bit more white. Now let's see, I'm doing this one, and it kind of comes back in here. So I'll start like this. And while it's still wet, I'll go in with a little bit more of my green. And I'll come in now, and I'll take a few of these sections and I'll darken them up a little bit. Maybe that one, you know, we don't want it to be too perfect now. Let's just soften it a little bit. Come down here, and now up here, we're going to do little extra little gadgets in there like that. Pick up some of the darker green. Maybe a little bit going back like this. Okay.
It's starting to do it.
Is it doing it? I need, you know, I need some encouragement right
It's
now.
starting to work.
Okay. Now, let's go to the next part of it, where I'm going to take some of the stalker color here, and I want to be really specific. You know, I want to go right up against it and make sure that I'm getting it dark enough. Let's just get some grayish brown, like blue and the bright burnt sienna, a little bit of black. Okay. Now, I'm going to hit this in here, anywhere that it's not real sharp. I'm going to come in like even in this area behind here. I'm going to start making sure that we get some really, really nice areas like that. See, and then you can start your little doodads, breaking them up a little bit more. And same way here. And you know, they're just pretty ragged looking. start getting some specific shapes, kind of like this, and break it up a little bit more like that.
Wow.
Okay, now, an area like right here where I might have lost it a little bit. I'll get me a little bit of white. Come back in here, and I'd maybe like this to be a little bit more connected like this. And now see, the nice thing about this, you can do whatever you want to do with it as far as any ad-libbing you want to do or changes and things like that. I'm not really trying to follow a specific pattern. But let's just say like right here, I decided I want to get a really nice little dark brown area, so I'll put that in there like that. But the primary thing is on all of this stuff towards the bottom, you're going to see a lot of this kind of stuff, where you'll see the individual leaves kind of breaking up. Now let's kind of spread this out a little bit. We'll even make this a little darker right up under here, which I'm going to do when I paint it anyhow, but so we can lose some of that, you see. Now is that still standing out okay up underneath there?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Now, when I think I've gone overboard with some of my tones, I may think, hey, I need to come back in here and then I take me a little white. Highlight that a little bit. And we hit a little bit up in here.
Sometimes the white gives a different feel than just leaving the white of the paper.
It really does, Joe.
And it's useful.
Well, I tell you one
Can
thing.
be.
After I studied Sargent enough, and look, and those particularly those latest watercolor books he's got out, that they've got out on his work, well, you just see where he didn't spare the white,
Oh,
man.
no.
He'd use whatever. Look at that now. Is that looking okay?
Let's see if that looks all right. I mean,
Okay. We're going to go ahead and do that. Now, I think this is dry enough. The next thing we want to do, let's just get some plain old burnt sienna. Put a little bit of black in it. We've got to put some blue to cool it down. Let's just take this. I think I'm going to do this with a smaller brush and maintain it. I like those little white edges I put on there. It just gives you an added something or another, I think. So let's make the dual frame separate. Put one like this. And then we're going to do this. You get that little sign painter's flair.
Yeah, you
on
don't
there.
have to be a sign painter, but sure it helps sometimes.
Exactly, and just gets where you get to that one stroke. Okay, now we're going to come.
Legally, it won't go straight.
I know we're just
Okay, now we're going to come across.
Really good.
Doesn't that
Well,
look
we
nice?
surely enjoyed having you girls.
It's always fun to look at it on the screen.
Yeah, I know,
too.
it looks so much different.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So Rachel, did you finish yours?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost, Rach?
Next time.
Well, I'm proud of you because Rachel is not afraid to try it herself. For her age, she's just doing beautifully.
For my age, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, figuratively speaking.
Don't get him
That's
started.
pretty high figures.
Don't get him started. Why do you know him? You know, he's all upset because he used to be able to be the one to always get on the videos first whenever we go on
Yeah.
scheduled trips. Like I had a little separate clip, I just put it on there first and then he didn't have to bother. But y'all didn't notice it tonight, but I picked it up. He couldn't get on the video, but he's the first one that talked.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
I mean, he thought I missed that, but I caught it.
I thought he missed it too. Doggone.
He's on to you.
It's hard to kid an old kidder, you know that?
Okay, now watch how much fun this is.
He's on to you.
We're gonna go back on some blue. And I tell you, we're not worried about rushing this one, okay?
No, I ain't gonna rush this thing.
You can't rush a masterpiece.
Joe, see you, if you don't
Bye.
mind.
See you next week. Bye.
Thank you, girl. See you next week.
Where you
I
park?
see, this is what I was talking about.
Right here? Okay.
I'm gonna leave those little whites like that. See, I love when you can come in, take that flat brush, just do this.
And you can leave those little lines.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, yeah, I definitely will.
Uh-huh.
Well, they're in the other picture.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, that's just, that's the kind of stuff at your disposal
uh-huh.
that you can use. I may not do it as much over here, and I wanted to have a broken pattern, Sarah. But I definitely want to use them, say. And here I've got it down to where I'm going to be able to do it with one stroke.
That's the best way.
Mm-hmm. And just try to be as loose as I can be with it. Young boy that was here a little while ago, he's as sweet as he can be.
Alex.
He just told me last week, he said, Mr. Casso, when I walked in here with my mother, and I saw all that stuff on the wall, he said, I told my mother, maybe this is where I want to be.
Oh.
And that's something for a child his age. And he got a little tired tonight, working on all that detail. And so, these kids, they got so much pressure they're under with everything that they do. And so he'll just come out here and he'll go through and look at those books, and then sometimes he'll start drawing. And I'm just thinking, how wonderful to grow up in a world like this, in a good environment. I would have loved to have had this opportunity. Any of us would have.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just wonderful to see what he's getting from it. And you see, a little trick on these doors, a lot of times you don't want to put all the area. Now, see, this is something I would have never done years ago. I never would have come in here like this and done this while it was wet. But I'll use it to my advantage now.
Yeah, I like
You see, and this is where you really begin to realize, you reach a point in your life where you really understand that it's what excites the imagination that makes this so wonderful. And that we're going to come along here. Now, this door is always going to have a frame on the outside that's going to kind of stand out a little bit.
Lazy corn.
Oh, yeah. That's fun. Looks like a mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's coming back.
What's that?
Did anybody say something that made Larry think?
Got so much character. All right, now I'm even get to show you all how to do some bricks a little bit here. Okay, now, see, anytime you have these boards like this, you always take one side that is going to be where you'd see the side, and always show it like you're seeing a little bit of it, say. And then what I love to do, I love to come in here and just really be specific with the texture and the peckerwood stuff. Kind of good thing.
You learned that from Jimmy Davis.
That's right. And Sybil and her daddy, because those
That's
North
true.
Louisiana
Yeah,
people,
North Louisiana people
they don't know how to say
They know
woodpeckers.
about peckerwoods.
Oh, that's like,
They say peckerwood. I mean, they don't say woodpecker holes like you would grammatically in other places. They just call peckerwood holes.
He hadn't seen my striped mailbox.
it is a very special mailbox.
Well, peckerwoods. I looked out there one day and I heard this knocking going on, and this woodpecker was pecking on my mailbox. I
Oh,
said,
you're
"Well, he won't hurt
kidding.
anything. What can you do in the mailbox?" I went out there and looked. He pecked 4 or 5 holes
You're
completely
kidding.
through this plastic
Oh, man,
mailbox.
they are
Oh, my
something else.
gosh.
So I took me some filler and filled them all up, and I got me a can of paint and I sprayed it striped like a zebra.
Oh, my gosh.
He never bothered it again.
You're
All right, now you
kidding.
notice where this is a little bit too light. Now, while it's still wet, I will still leave a lot of the white, but you just come back in, and even while it's wet, you can just hit it and break up a little bit of it like that. And now, we're going to come over here, and let's do a couple of things here that I've been dying to do. Before I do, though, I'm glad, see, that dried a lot lighter than I thought it would, and I wanted it to be light. So what I'm going to do here, there's a couple of areas I don't want it to be quite this light. So I'll just, and see, I'll come back over this too while I'm doing it, you know. I'll just kind of swoop over the whole thing, you know. We'll just kind of bring this up like this, and then bring this up like this, because I'm setting up to do something here that I'm going to do right before we leave tonight. Oh man, I love my red.
I do too. I do too.
You see this area here,
I love that door.
we want to just kind of leave that light section, just on general principle. And then we
That
can
red
do this.
repeats up right here.
What's that?
That red repeats.
Sure does,
Oh,
Joe.
isn't that
I didn't
nice?
even think about that.
Nice continuity.
Okay, now we're gonna let this dry. Just a second, we got 5 more minutes. While I'm doing that, this green, I'll put a little black in it, that'll be okay. But this is almost gonna be perfect for this. So I'm just gonna come back behind here. And not even gonna blink, man. And then we'll put Joe's famous window in next. You know, there's a famous door place and then Joe's famous window place down there.
That's it. I do windows. Well, look at that banana leaf stand down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, and that was competing with it, Joe, that's right.
Yeah.
That door is fabulous.
Okay. Now, I think this is okay.
Mhm.
Let's come on back in here now. We'll take me a little number 4 brush. I just want to do a couple of areas for the fun of it. I hadn't done any of these. Well, look at that, it is settling down pretty nice, isn't it? Because you got to get that darker seating area on that French Quarter, man. Okay, now what we're going to do, I know we got us a little brick area right here, so we're going to kind of come in and before I get too far along, I'm going to play with this a little bit. Now it's better if you have a little bit more of a worn brush, but see, I got the right angle now. So I'm going to come on back. Kind of losing my way here, so let's come back and get a little bit more red in that. What I want to make sure I do is, this is my perspective line, so I have to follow that. Now I'll do my homework and get me a little bit better brush next time as far as flattening it out, but this is really okay because we're just going to have a little small area coming out there and then show a little bit here, a little bit here, and then maybe you just branch out outside the box, so to speak. You see, what you got to do is you got to have that line straight and this way, and then it's got to follow the perspective that way. That's not something that's really that big a deal about if it's not exactly perfect. But if I have, I think most of my brushes in here, well, that's that one I think that was, got that flat. I had one that had a little flat nose. See, this one's worn down pretty well.
Okay,
Let's see what this one's in good enough shape to. All right, now see, look at the difference now. It's a little bit rounded on the edge, but.
Do you ever throw brushes away?
Well, actually, Sarah, I do after a certain point in time, but a lot of times I get them broken in, like this one right here now. See, that's almost my perfect.
I don't believe I've ever
They're
thrown
too,
a brush
I never
away.
throw one away. If they're too sharp, they're not good. I used to like them like that, but I don't
Sharp?
anymore. If they
Yeah.
come to too kind of point.
I got
Because
one
then
of
they
yours,
should
one of the
lose
first
two
ones
colors.
that Larry
Well,
gave
I
us.
have I even have my brown paper bags and that stuff.
Yeah, me too, I forgot about that thing.
Wow.
I never throw it.
Now, I
Yeah.
want you. Okay, look at how these bricks now
He's changing the
are
center.
just coming
Yeah,
off
he doesn't
perfectly.
talk
Now,
about
see,
it.
I'll put a little more pressure. Oh man.
Look at that
Just
son.
one
Look at that
stroke.
brick coming in.
One stroke is doing it, yeah.
You see, and then when you get them like this, then you start slightly tapering them down. See. And that's how you end it.
Oh, wow.
The old brick trick,
That's right.
just an illusion.
You go back on up that way. Right now, I think we're gonna have to shut this thing down, unfortunately.
We were
But
having fun.
last thing we wanna do is we come in now and you just always have those little areas like that that show the broken cement. You don't have it too much here.
Mm-hmm.
And then why not just come in and just,
Man. Fabulous.
all right,
Wonderful.
let's lift the old, camera up here
Now, let's see, write that out.
and,
Oh, yeah, with the whole thing.
where is it? Okay. Just that mat there on the floor, I'm sorry.
The square thing. But
Now, this may,
There you go.
we may not be able to do this. I think this may fill up the screen too much, but anyhow, we'll frame it up the best we can. For our purposes, we'll get to see what it looks like. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Do you have a little mat we could just put on that side?
Man.
Since it's not
Yeah, let's do
connected.
that.
Uh-huh.
Let's do that, Sarah, because this is, I got two different.
It's whatever size.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, oh, look at that.
That's another painting right
It
there.
is. It is. I can't
Painting
wait to
within a
see
painting,
it
huh?
connected.
Hmm?
A painting within a
Yeah.
painting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, folks, it's surely been a lot of fun. Now, I'm really satisfied with all of
Oh,
this
that
now. I
is
was getting pretty
beautiful.
reckless. Now, the only thing I'll have to do later is see that dry and all those lines come through? You don't think it will,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just enough antique that I can come back in and put, in fact, let me just do a couple of them to show y'all before we leave. We just about ready to shut it down, but I think you might enjoy seeing this. Because here's the key, is the simplicity. So you just come down like this. So you wouldn't think you'd even see this, but you do this, you put your little mark on the side, and then you show your shutter like this. But the key to it is you only do one side. You don't do the side closest to you. You let the eye and the imagination fill that in.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah,
that
I love
neat?
that.
Then you do that on the other side. I'll do it real quick to show y'all. And then you just leave it because it's not a really important place, you know. And then I'm just really doing it very loosely and liberally. And that's all you do. But man, I like my little red area there.
Oh, I do
Pulled that off
too.
again.
I do too.
Certainly enjoyed it, folks.
Oh, thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Very good.
Check out those books.
Inspirational.
What's that?
Those things that you.
I really can't
Okay,
those.
that's fine.
But I wish I could because I wouldn't mind you doing it.
And we'll put it, you know, in a certain spot.
But yeah, what would you do next week when you come back? Let me run some pictures. I can run you some color pictures, okay? Yeah, I like it.
Swapping in pencils, are you? Of course. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
Let me, hold it on.
Appreciate it.
Good night. You may walk into your car, you're gonna be all right. All right. Very nice, Mr. Casso.
Thank you, man. This is, you know, Joe, it's so much fun going back and do this stuff after all these years.
Oh, I know it is. Are you
Enjoyed
ready?
it, Sarah. Hey, thank you, Sarah. So good. You come back anytime you want to. Now, here you come every week. if
We
you
wanna read the article.
Okay, well, I'm sure.
You may regret it.
Larry, I'm leaving it unlocked here now.
That's fine, no, they're still in there, aren't they?
They are,
Yeah.
that's not for me.
No, oh wait, it's Joe, yeah,
It is.
yeah, in fact,
You don't have to give me.
no, here, okay. Just give that to Joe.
I'll tell him that he has. for him
Yes,
to
pay
not-
both of them. Yeah, it's due, here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Man, I get to come and look at this. One of your students? Both of them are. Oh, wow, that's so great. Thank you. I was so proud of him, man. He was here this afternoon before I did this.
Oh, yeah?
He's gonna do fine with this. He's really a good boy. He's got a lot of support from his family and everything, you know, so he's gonna do really good.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
Okay? And thank you for those little surprises and treats. Things like that. Well, that doesn't look halfway bad, does it?
Watched him do that last time. It is just incredible.
Well, he is the king of dabbling and mucking it up to where it looks real.
Did you test that on?
I've got, yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Look
okay,
at that
those are
red under,
450.
over that door.
Okay. You get them next week, Bob,
He put it
whatever you want to
right
do. You don't
red
have
and
change on you, whatever.
came out perfect.
Okay, now.
Those are nice looking bricks too.
Well, the bricks are really, I'm wanting to do this wall, I want a little bit more. I want to try to get this part done over here, but anyhow, if we don't, we don't, but I'm gonna get started.
You talk on this and Deb was watching one when Eric was pretty little. And we were talking in here about when we were going home, when we were going to leave, and I said, I'm staying till my grandson goes to bed. And he didn't realize it's on tape.
Oh my goodness, I have laughed at more things that I've heard on tape.
They're good little brushes too.
Goodness. I'd sit in here and just giggle. It was funny.
Well, it's recording right now. I don't know.
Yeah, oh, this is,
Yeah, it's picking up everything y'all done.
Well,
good thing nobody
let's
knows who we
display,
are.
That's
let's
right.
display our work.
Okay, now, let me show you all a little something. I remember the last time I did these things. This is a little brush I picked up by mistake. I've never used it before.
Just noticing.
And Carol Creel uses
Oh, yeah.
one like that a
Well,
lot.
what do you call that?
I don't know what you
Well,
call
it's
it.
got like, it's
That's a kind of a filbert, isn't it?
fluffier
Tapered at
here
the
and
end.
it
Yeah, it's
says
filbert.
filbert grainer.
No, but see how it's,
Then
Yeah.
that's what that is.
That's
What's
strange, isn't it?
why is it broken up on the end like that though?
Oh,
Yeah, it has
Assume.
more hair in the middle.
yeah. I don't know.
I
I'll
guess
figure.
Yeah.
that's what a filbert
Comb
is, I
brush,
guess.
what that is.
Is that what they call it?
She's, I noticed she was on,
The-
they
the
putting some
something
new
hand?
Delta hands out.
I
Yeah.
saw her.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I knew they had, I knew he
Wow.
had, done some new fresh ones.
Bye-bye.
Going?
Hey,
Bye,
we'll finish
girls.
that next week. And I'll see you Sunday if y'all can make it now here.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Now,
Bye. She has got the cutest dimples. Goodness.
one of these, one of the things on this, when you, like, I knew when I went into here, I should have left more light space in there, so I may come back later, but see, I'm just worried about the abstract. I'll put a little yellow on it or something. But see, I'm gonna have that where you can clearly see it. All right, let's just go like this. And then I can let it dry real good. Thank you, Joe. Y'all, if y'all wanna get, everybody got a little something?
Oh, yeah.
We don't
Front
want anybody,
row.
I mean, that's one thing, we don't want anybody getting cold at this school.
No, no.
We just have a strict rule about that.
Dr. Hedgeman would not allow it.
No.
No, that's
way.
right.
Leads to
My
colds.
pediatrician wouldn't want that.
And pneumonia.
Okay, now, see, what I like about this black, I'm not gonna mess around. I wanna get this thing done in a hurry. So I'm gonna come like this. See, a little trick on these shutters is, when you do them, you don't do all of it. You let the imagination fill in. See how I'm not doing that center part?
Mhm.
I'm only doing the section where we can see the shadow.
So, but you are conscious of where your light source is?
Oh, yeah, definitely. In other words, in this case, it's not too much of a light source, so I'm just going by, I can see that angle there.
It really has to
Okay.
do with the angle. You see it in this case.
Right, exactly. And then see, like, also, I'd come in over here because I'd see the size of that side of that shutter right there, see? And now one of these is Joe's most famous window, man. That's his bread and butter window.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Well, he's gonna be kind of particular about how you do it.
Well, I'm gonna watch
Oh,
myself.
look at that.
Take it easy. Okay, now, we
So
wanna
if I
come
do
in
that
and...
thing again, I need to pay the rent.
Heard that, man. Okay. Now, see, on these, some of these shutters here, I'll tell you what, I've been having trouble with my contacts all day.
You know it's allergies, isn't
Oh,
it?
man, and you see, like right
We are
here,
so aware of allergies.
We are.
well, we need some rain. I mean,
We
the
do.
cold weather, I'm looking forward to it. A lot of people hate it, but I'm kinda happy to get it. But
Cold
myself.
and rain.
then see here, I'm just making different patterns, and I'm gonna do this a little bit simpler. And maybe come back with some of the green and break some of this up a little bit more in here. And this stuff is really amazing because it comes in, it's all gonna be in kind of shapes like this, but just come in, just see how I'm gonna hit it up against that white like that. And not try to overwork it. That's the primary thing. Now see this one here, I really didn't have all of it on here. I see I skipped one, but which is okay. But I'm gonna just come in now, and I'm gonna come down like this. But it's amazing how you can go in and do different things. Because what you really have, these things just, they grow at all kind of different angles. You know, and that's what I try to capture
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
when you come down there and do it. See, so I simplified this one a lot, and I feel like this one right here, I just really got a little too carried away. So we're gonna come back like this now. We just gonna bring it on back. Okay. I like that a lot better. And I'm gonna come back and see. Sometimes when you can get in the zone like this, because what I would like to do is I'd like to show y'all the way I approach those bricks on that wall, man. That was my favorite, one of my favorite things that I learned on these things. And see, and again, you just try to get these angles in there and just all kind of different crazy shapes, and that sort of captures the essence of it, you know.
The essence of the moment.
And then it'll get ethereal on you in a hurry to keep it up.
She's quit taking notes.
One down.
Yeah, that's why.
The
You
word.
might as well not wax eloquent anymore.
Man, I hope we don't have to read this thing someday.
We will.
Sarah will bring it in,
Yes,
huh?
She's obligated.
Actually,
Don't tell us what it means. That would
I
just be
think
a terrible
that's
thing.
part of the assignment.
The party, she's got to come back and report to us.
I think anything I write will be obvious to you, but not obvious to other.
All right.
artists.
Oh, well, look, we don't care, huh, Joe?
That's right, we can handle that. As long as I get in there, that's all I
That's exactly right.
Anthropology.
Yes, I'm supposed to be observing. Like,
Instead, she wants to participate.
because we're reading ethnographies, except for our ethnographies are.
What's the ethnography? I don't know what it is.
I didn't know what it was before I took the class, so it's basically where you pick one particular group and study it. And an ethnology is where you pick like one characteristic and study it among a lot of different groups. So ethnographies, we were reading an ethnography about a particular group in rural Iraq or something like that.
Okay.
And and the ethnography is about everything within that group.
No.
Yeah.
See,
So it's kind of like a ethnic, but it's meaning that it's a separate entity of something. Possibly.
You have straight black in there?
Yeah.
No, this is ultramarine blue burnt umber, but
Oh,
I'd
wow,
use
that's
it.
nice.
I'd use it if I had to.
Would be,
Oh man, look at how that.
That's,
you know,
yeah.
a certain part of maybe a what,
Give it character.
personality, your certain part of the.
Oh man,
of a
yeah.
human being.
See, it's
artist.
this one up here
Yeah.
though that I just really
Mhm.
was able to get there and get with the program on.
What level course is it?
It's a 2000 level course.
And does that have to be like X amount of pages or something like that, or?
About 6, so it's not too heavy.
I'm impressed with your German. I think you're just doing wonderful. I was so really. I mean, it's wonderful to have her. She's thrilled. She's thrilled by meeting you too.
Yeah.
You know, it's all a new world to her.
Sarah gets to practice.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
really
now-
pretty.
But Helen is a sweet girl. She
Is
is.
it? Oh, she's
She is
precious.
as sweet as she can be.
And we've had some really good talks, you know, and I'm going to help her get a portfolio together. So
She's-
when she goes back to Germany, if, you know, she's like so many young people, she's just not sure what she wants to do with her life. And she's just searching around, you know, and she's got all the fears, am I waiting too long and whatever, which I don't think.
Should come to LSU and study anthropology.
I got a gentleman
She
coming
could
by
write
to
it
see
on.
me next Friday that when he he just didn't like college. He didn't like the idea that didn't know where he was going. He didn't appreciate all they did out there was went out and got drunk every night, and he just decided he'd just quit and look for something else, you know. And I remember I had a talk with some of his relatives, and so I just reminded him. I said, well, you know, he's just being honest. He just doesn't know what he wants to do.
Sure.
I had 2 young men at the same time that did that, and so I kind of took his side, you know, because I always believed with my children that I wanted them I'd help them do whatever they wanted legitimately, you know. But ooh, look at how that's working. Yes.
That's
And
right. You got it.
but I felt like, you know, that's it. They got to live with it for the rest of their life. And if they needed, like my daughter took 2 years. Of course, you know, she had a horse, a new car, she made good money. So when it came to graduation, she said, I want to go to nursing school like everybody thinks I want to do. But she said, I really want to take a little time off and just think about what I want to do with my life and all that. So you take all the time you want. You know, and I reminded I was 34 years old before I found it's a wonderful time of their lives. And but anyhow, this one gentleman went out you know, I kind of stood behind him and I said, I think if you're patient, you're going to see him really get his stuff together and everything. Well, what he did, he went to, he decided to go to this art institute in Atlanta that a lot of my students went to. And when he graduated, he went out to California, and he and a young lady opened up a graphics company together. And then for about 20 years, they were the top company that Disney Studios used.
Oh, my goodness.
And then another one did the same thing. Another young man that just, you know, really was kind of betwixt and between about what he wanted to do. Went to Parsons School of Design and got out and got some kind of phenomenal job somewhere. So, and neither one of them wanted to go to college. So. So anyhow, I tried to encourage her that she just said she wasn't a bad student. She said I got good grades, but I'm not an intellectual type person per se. And so I said, well, because she talked about the possibility of becoming, getting to some kind of graphics field and going to school over here. But I think there's a lot of problems on something like that with visas and getting all that kind of stuff. So I told her I was going to try to help her because, man, I got the connections on how to get to people in Washington, man. And the way I did it was I looked in the blue pages and I found U.S. government and I found an information number and I talked to an operator within 30 seconds. She sent me to the immigration department. Phone rang and answered in 30 seconds, and she sent me to the thing that Manuel's involved in. And I got all my answers within about 3 minutes.
That is incredible.
Yeah, and everybody needs to know about it, that it is possible with our government to do that. Now, this,
Surprised when it happens.
Well, was the biggest shock of my life, man, because, you know, everything else, and when I tell you, these were some of the brightest, most articulate kids I've ever taught, young people. And man, like when I told one of them, she says, well, what's just exactly what you want to do? And I got requests from students to come to school here. And they, you know, so I didn't know what you had to do or whatever, so I just contacted them and I found out what you had to do, but it's just, you know, not something I think I want to pursue, to be quite honest with you, but it was just interesting. I have somebody from Africa right now that wants to come here, one of the Cameroon or something. Yeah, I don't know too much about. Man, I see, last week I was kind of uptight. I hadn't done these in 25 years. Tonight, I just feel like I'm right in the zone, man. And so just keeping the colors.
They're
Well, it'll be
working
right
out.
by that Thanksgiving, huh?
But they have some bananas on them.
There you go.
They
So,
look wonderful. Now that is a color you haven't used a lot of in the other one.
what's that?
That brown color.
Yeah, I know that. I liked it. I was missing that. And the first one, always, whenever I do it, the first one I always get too busy. And see, this just, man, those banana trees, this just really, they all got that rotten look, you know?
Yep.
And they're dying, look like they're dying and all that kind of stuff.
They've just been through a hurricane.
Now, I'm trying to look at,
Or two. They are too, yeah.
I don't know what I did for this color right here, but you know what? It's going to be close enough. So anyhow, this boy's mother came by, was taken from him, and asked me if this, okay, no, just leave it out there. Asked me if I could, if he's going to be in town, he just wanted to come by and say hello, so I set up some time to see him Friday. He always, you know, you always love to see those young people, man.
Are you here on Fridays?
Well, this week I will be, because I'll be doing Christmas cards and things this week. It's a bit, you know, it's a kind of a busy time, if you remember. When,
Yeah, that's when ball game day. Day of Thanksgiving?
No,
Oh,
I'll
this-
be here the next day, but
You'll
I
be here
start
tomorrow.
I start really trying to finalize people's Christmas cards,
Ah,
and so, here we don't want really a big fuss.
But Larry, you're so generous with your time. You really are to get involved with your students and
Yeah, but sir, you know how wonderful, it's like being involved with your grandkids, man.
I know, and
But I
after
appreciate what you're saying.
But how many of these kids have you guided and influenced and
Well,
made arrangements for?
well, that's a reward, you know. I got about 3-page, hadn't heard from David in 2 years. I got the most beautiful 3-page email from him, and
okay.
filling me in on everything. And they're just very happy. Did I tell you all about it? Because I'm so busy, I don't know.
I think you'd mentioned something about
But you know,
it.
he's doing really well with his law. He's got his law degree now, and he's wanted to stay in Texas. So.
Well, he was a precious boy.
Oh man, he's the tops. He's our boy, you know. Everybody loved him, and so. But I never will forget. When I counseled him, I told him that, you know, if you want to get a degree, then what you want to get it in, and I said, you know, you just got to get your degree and get you where you can, if you want to teach and be in a college situation where you get tenure and all. And I said, you know, if you got thoughts about marriage and all, you just got to put that on and sacrifice. And I said, so you just need to, you know, if you find somebody, you just got to realize, what do you want to do? It's your choice, you know. And I never will forget, bless his heart. He called me from Paris one day, and he said, Mr. Larry, he said, I'm on this bridge at such and such. And he said, I'm ready to propose to my girlfriend.
Wow.
You want permission
And
from you?
he said, is it okay? And I know, but you know, anybody that knows that boy, it was the sweetest. I mean,
So
ladies
what'd you
walking
tell-
by, even in high school and grade school, he'd hold that door open for me. He just
Yeah.
groomed
Yeah.
like no other young person today I've ever seen, man. And he's going to go someplace. Already is. But that was so cute, Sarah. I tell you. I
So
never
you
will.
said, go ahead.
But that's a reward, you know, just like with your own kids. I mean, it's just whatever successes you see them have, you know, you feel like you've been a part of it.
Yeah. Well, they never forget you either because of all that.
Well, works two ways, and it's a joy to always hear from them. And some of them are still in art school right now. They'll call me, look, Mr. Larry, they gave me a little lesson on. I'm gonna stop in just a second here, Joe. They gave us a lesson on how to do acrylics, and he said. So I said, yeah. So I sent him, and he said they don't give us any instructions at all. So I sent him a little tape on video on acrylic, you know, and that's fun. I mean, when you can do things like that, and you hear from people.
I need to watch that one.
What's that?
I said I need to watch that one.
Yeah. Speaking of acrylic,
hard.
yeah.
Man, it's like
Well,
painting
it
with
is, but-
plastic.
Oh, so much better.
How's it looking, sir?
It is looking
It's
incredible. It's
Well,
just
we
incredible.
just had a short session tonight, but it was worth it.
It was, oh, yeah.
I think we'll go ahead and call it finished.
Never again labor over a banana tree.
No, I tell
No,
you
you
what,
just
neither,
make
I won't
triangles
either.
and squares. That's what I watched.
I won't either, you know, because that's the beauty of it.
Uh-huh.
I
And,
just made triangles and squares.
That's all. And then you got to get those little, you know, like there's some areas that have more trash in them than others. But anyhow,
You can always come back and put more.
that's exactly right.
Thank you, there, y'all. Good day.
Hey, man. Want to welcome you back again to the studio. It's November 29th, 2007, and we're just continuing with our painting, most recent painting of Lafitte's. And we're just going to jump right in, pick up where we left off last week. Okay, let's take and do just some. Now I noticed that down in here, I didn't do too much with the yellow and too much detail. I just more or less, when I got down to these sections like this, I'll still make it. I think I'm gonna start it with one color. And this you get very abstract with it here. And I got this coming out like this. Let's see. You know, I'm at a, I don't know whether I really want this on here, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it. Sir, we got some cough syrup. Yeah, you want some?
Ward off the coals and everything.
And it's warmed me up already. Okay, now. I'm kind of going in there with that darker green, which I need to step back on that a little bit. Let's take this and my white.
I've been thinking about this for 2 weeks.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I tell you what,
Yeah.
I've been, I'm glad I'm just starting to feel better again, man. That's funny, I just never get really, really sick. Like, I stop. Sometimes I wish I would, you know, and then just get over it. But I've been dragging for some time with this sinus stuff that everybody else has got.
Did you have it the whole 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
Before
And
that?
it's just starting to break up, you know, and the problem is it's hard to get into the doctor, and then I just don't like to buy that over-the-counter stuff. You know, with my former
Right.
condition, I like to really make sure they know what I'm doing.
Right.
And okay, now I said we were just gonna go in with this, but we need to come in now. Let that be part of our dog.
Oh, that's a beautiful color.
Thank you. It really, look at that, man.
So goes so pretty with that.
It sure does. See, and I wondered about whether to take the tip off that building now, and I know I needed to. I'm glad I did. And then we're going to come down here, and we're just going to come in with some of this solid white, almost solid white. Now I know what I'm fixing to do around the edges, so we'll do that. Yeah, and see, I had another. All right. I see what I did, and I need to do that too. I'll do it in a second. On that, there's another one of these things that come across here. Like I had these this one going here.
Well, you have one that breaks the corner, and that's this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
You put another one in over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, because I had this closer to the edge,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that, and I'm just looking at this, and I'm just gonna put another one going behind that
Yeah.
building over there. I don't think I wanna really,
I think that's what you had in there.
mm-hmm. So we're gonna do this, get that all in there now. And then see when all of that dries, I'll come back and put some blacks in, and like up here, use a little bit of that white. Okay, and then just to be pretty light too, though. So what I'm going to do is going to be a little bit different this time. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it right now because this is what I'm forgetting and it's kind of messing me up. I'll take that dark green, put a little bit of burnt sienna with it, and then let's get a little bit of that ultramarine blue. And I'm just wanting some really strong darks back up in here. See, I love when you come in and pop those greens in like that. And I'm gonna come across here.
And you gonna finally put some darks back up in here too?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do,
Okay.
Joe. But what I've got here,
Oh, I see what
I
you're
wanted to
doing.
see. I've got actual foliage that comes around like this, and
Boy, that'll pop it out.
yeah.
Great.
And I'm gonna pop out that section. But then as I come down, I can see where I really need to come in and maybe lighten it up a little bit. That's a little bit too much, but that's all right. That'll be good to start. And this is almost gonna cover up your window there, Joe, but not quite.
No, don't do that.
Let's see, since this is so cool in here, I'm gonna just go ahead and just kind of put it in there rather lightly. But primary thing is just try some of that. No wonder I'm having trouble getting the black instead of the green. And you know, this is kind of stuff that kind of eats your lunch sometime. You know, it looks like it's simple.
It's
And
the
you don't-
simplest things that makes
You don't take your time like you maybe should studying it. But I don't think there's any too many ways I can mess this thing up.
No.
So we're just gonna put a little bit coming up here. Now I like that, all right? And I see when I come over here, we'll go with a little bit more of my yellow now. And I actually want to come in, just suggest some of that lighter foliage against the building. So I don't really want to draw any attention to this area as it comes around here now. Let's get some really dark stuff. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. Now see what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reverse this a little bit here where I got that a little bit too dark. I'm gonna do that, but let's just come back up in this area. Let's get this with a little bit of the brown, a bit of the blue. And okay. Know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make out like we've got some foliage in the back,
That's a good idea.
and I'm gonna make this like this is the other side of this tree right here. And that'll save that from being too monotonous. I think we'll all over down like this, and just break it up a little bit. Oh yeah, see, that's all I'm wanting. No fuss. Okay. Now we're going to get some more of that dark green, a little bit of blue, a little bit of brown, and I'm going to take a little bit of black. I'm going to start putting some of this other detail, breaking some of this up here and adding to it.
You need that.
Yeah, I think we do, Joe. And And see, the point is, it can just be abstract now. It doesn't really have to be really too fancy or whatever. And see, what I wanted to do is I wanted to come down here, come to the end of my building, kind of fill it in like that to whatever level, and then that's going to leave me some outline for that area below it, you see. Okay.
Did you take a nap today?
No, I got interrupted on that.
Oh,
today.
shit.
Well, that mess you up in a
Yeah.
New York
Shit.
second, huh, Joe?
That's right. I've been behind ever since.
I get real aggravated when people wait.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad I found you outside instead of
Yeah.
taking a nap.
Yeah. Oh.
You'd have been in a bad humor with me.
Oh. No. Oh, we have oranges in that orange tree.
Do you really?
Grapefruit on that
Well, I'll tell
grapefruit.
you what,
Lemons.
the produce stands had some really good navels, Louisiana navels.
Oh, they are so good.
And they've come down in price.
Have
They-
they?
Last week they were 99 a pound, they're 79 a pound now.
Mhm.
And they're beautiful.
They are so good.
Oh, we'll just give enough of these different colors in here to break it up. It's actually, I don't care if I lose a little bit of this.
Mhm.
down
Yeah,
I
here.
like that. I just
Thank-
love that.
Thank you.
There's so
Yeah,
much going on with those other.
That's exactly right, Joe.
Mhm.
And I might just, you just take me a little solid black in here.
Appreciate the books.
What you got, Mike? Okay, man.
I really appreciate the
Look,
use of them.
I think it's,
Fantastic.
this whole experience is,
What's that?
You got started.
Listen to this one.
this whole experience has kind of changed your whole approach, man. You know, you zeroed in. You had an idea and you zeroed in on it. And I just kind of gave you a little direction. Now look at this, Sarah, when I just put that little bit while
Just
it's
a
wet.
touch.
See,
That is wonderful.
just enough. Look at that.
Just,
Just-
and that, see, that makes it look
Is
like
this
a
all you
painting
have to
and
put?
not a
Mhm.
photograph. That is beautiful.
Joe did a gorgeous painting of that window. Sold it every time he ever painted it. So,
Really?
it was one of the most beautiful things.
Mm-hmm. He calls it his window.
Yep.
He's kind of claimed it.
The lackey window.
Because I guess with that picture right there, you could do the whole picture or just certain sections of it.
Wouldn't that, see, that would be beautiful,
Yeah.
just like that.
You know something, Sarah, and Bob, it's funny y'all mention that. I got a lady that, when she saw this, I made her a picture of this one, and this is what she's doing for her Christmas card.
Well, that makes sense.
Isn't that something? And then see back here, I'll finalize it by just going out on a limb and just getting me a little bit of that blue and red. I'm gonna make it pretty dark for a shadow down here, but it's gonna be a serious shadow. But that purple ultimately is gonna be what's gonna come through. I'm gonna just bring it all the way down and angle it like that a little bit or whatever. Put it all together. Now, how about that?
Beautiful,
That's good enough.
beautiful.
Okay, now this is what I've been waiting for. I'm dying to do this. All right, now we're going to come across the bottom. First thing I want to do is I want to establish, let's get more blue in here. This real pretty shadow across here. So what I want to do, I want to come right from here. I have to curve it a little bit, looks like. It's all right. Come in like this. All you gotta do is just not be scared, man.
Don't be
That's the bottom
scared.
line.
That's the thing, they kept saying in all those books too, man, just put some paint on there.
Man,
Well,
that's
there
it.
we go.
Yeah, I'm saying, say, don't be scared of,
Well, see, what you don't realize, Bob, is you're kind of jumping the gun, man. You're making a big leap by just having the guts to do it, and trying a lot of things but you're doing your research and all this kind of stuff on it. So once you get in that mode, man,
Oh,
you get in that zone, you just start making it happen.
No stopping.
I hope so.
That's right. Well, I know so. You see, like right here, I'm not even going to make a big deal out of this. I'm make this like it's a board. It's something to offset that.
But you had those
It's really
beautiful
bricks,
ones.
but it, you know,
That's a big plus.
let's take a little bit of that black.
What I'm doing, is what Barry knows, is because I'm looking at Alvaro Castanet, how you say the last name?
Castanet, right.
Is this is the first time that I'm doing a painting where I'm going, not trying to copy those colors. I'm just going from the coolest to the warm colors. And that's a little, for me, it's scary,
Yeah,
you know.
well, yeah.
It's very scary.
It's scary. But
Just do it. You can always wash over it with some other color.
Start over again or something.
turn it over.
Okay, now-
Done happens.
Have you really? Well, I hate to do that, but once I start spending time to it, I've got to
I
complete
know,
it.
it's real hard, but sometimes it's like a sinking ship.
Well, that's the reason why that when I started 2 years ago. It's a sunk ship.
Yeah.
Man, and look at that, just adding that little shadow down.
Oh, that is powerful.
Let's see, here's where I start having fun. As if I'm not having fun already. I happen to get this little brush, I don't know what,
Full body paint.
Mm-hmm.
but it's got a kind of a flat edge on
Is
it.
that your brick brush?
It must be, Joe. Normally I just use a whole worn-out brick brush,
Well, that works.
or brick brush, you know. All right, now let's start right here. This is where we don't want to play a lot. All right, now I think one thing I'm going to do.
Yeah, you're seeing the end of that, right out there, yeah.
Yeah, and see what I did is I moved my line over a little.
Yeah, I thought you did.
So I'm just going to go ahead and
That works.
do that, and that's going to be where my fence is going to go.
Mhm.
Now let's get this right here dry so I can feel through. And you see, there's a time I never would have left that finished, unfinished, I mean. But I'm going to get this, I'm going to put my wall in, I'm going to let it do everything it needs to do. And then if I think I need to add a little bit more foliage in there, or a little more detail, I'll do it, see. But I think there's a lot to be said for that when you can get to that point. Okay, now, let's just start right here. And, now, what I like to do is start with a little bit less pigment. See, sometimes a worn out brush is better. Now that's getting at what I'm wanting. And you'll watch that I'm not going to do a lot of this. In other words, I'm only going to come down with 2 or 3 rows, and then I'm going to start skipping a lot of it. But it's going to give you the illusion that you're doing the whole thing.
It'd be far more interesting than painting everything.
Exactly. Boy, I've crossed that bridge so many times, Sarah.
Okay.
And I've seen people that, you know, that would do this 10,970 bricks. That's what they'd put on there, you know. And to each his own. I mean, I don't like to ever be critical of anybody or what they do. Okay, but you know this gets a little bit monotonous to me. Now I'm gonna start putting a little bit of red in here. Well, you need to do that tonight, Joe. You don't want to do it tonight. Thank you, honey.
I want those 2 boards that were here on this table. That was for you. That's what I had on. Sorry, those 2 boards.
Now what I really want to do is come in. And I'm getting a little more bricks than I want. And, well, I know what I did. I know exactly what I did now. And see, a lot of it I started getting kind of messy. And I didn't even, I don't even worry about it, man. Now let's just start.
It's hard to stop, to come to a stopping place.
Yeah, it is, and what I guess I'm a little more self-conscious of it than I need to be, but I'm getting some round edges on this. I'm not crazy about, but I don't think it's going to really matter by the time I finish with it. But this is what I love, boy, when you can kind of get loose a little bit, and I'm getting at a little bit of an angle, but I mean, who's counting doing a whole building like this, before. I wish
The
it was.
bricklayer might have hit a nip at the jug while he was laying.
Probably
go,
did.
Joe.
Probably
Yeah.
did. Look what he was
Now look,
doing.
that's starting to look pretty good.
Uh-huh. This, I love this area. I just
Well, you're
love that.
making me feel good, because, you know,
Oh,
I
good.
kind of always go out on a limb on something like that. And, see, I would like to be making these a little thicker, but I say again, I'm getting where I'm worrying about something I don't need to worry about. I'm going to go right on down. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on this later. Okay, and then in here, you know, we're going to pick up a few more, but what I want to do is I want to save the rest of it for when we actually come in and do the other part of it. So here, I'll just break it up and kind of connect these a little bit. And then see, after I put my dark in, I can still come in and do a lot of changes on those bricks, add more and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to just come back in here now and start picking up a few more. And kind of get into that pick and grin stage on this.
When you put that shadow across, it's gonna.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do in just a minute, Sarah. Now here it looks like I got a couple of bricks up here. So I'm going to come in and lightly just suggest it to settle it down. And yet I don't want to do too much, because I love that white, a lot of that white coming through there too. So, but I think we got it under control here. Okay. Now, let's let the fun stuff start now. Okay, I'm going to go back to my blue and red, ultramarine blue. I'm going to I've been listening to some of these DVDs, and as I start putting my little file together, I'm going to give you all each one of them,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
And
Great.
I tell you what, you're going to have more fun. You're going to have more fun. Just think, man, we all go to the nursing home,
That's right, we sit around listening to those DVDs.
retirement home, whatever you want to call it, man, we're just going to get together and we're going to just kind of click our gums together and laugh.
And rock and rock.
That's right, yeah, man. Listen to all that nonsense. God, I tell you, I don't know what people do that don't have what we have here, man, I tell you.
I don't know what we would
You're
have done
gonna let us
without
take
it.
our paint to the nursing home, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, man. Shoot, yeah.
Shoot.
In fact, I'll probably have a paint store there selling them to y'all.
Okay.
You know, y'all gonna really think I'm going off the deep end right now, but.
He is, I think he
No.
is, and screwed up
But
the
no,
wall.
not related to this.
Oh.
I had a lady make the mistake of telling me that, you know, where the Talladega Raceway is, it's about 6 or 7 hour drive from here, the Talladega racetrack in Alabama.
Oh.
I've heard of it.
Well, there is a little town called Talladega,
Oh.
and she came back, and this is one of my old students that came back with her daughter, and her daughter got through college, and she said, I'm gonna give you art, and I'm gonna go back to Larry. Hey, good to
Hey,
see you,
good
bud.
night.
I'm gonna go back to Larry whenever you get through. We're gonna go together, and I'm gonna I'm gonna pay for you to take art. And then she was gonna go work on a master's degree. Well, she applied to a school over there, Howard, I think, in Birmingham, which I understand is a pretty nice school. And so she went over there and talked to the lady, and she was a little bit low on her ACT test, but I think some of the other stuff she evidently really excelled on. Sarah, you know more about all that, but you know, all the different things that they check more than the ACT test. So they found out that's why I always try to tell these young people, man, when you want to do something, man, go try.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all you can do is fail. So this girl walks in, and she just was really going in there to enter for next year. And so they talked to her, and she was a little low on the ACT and all that kind of stuff. But now she gets back in Baton Rouge, and they said, we'll reserve a place for you next year if you pass all the stuff and all. Well, lo and behold, an opening comes up, and impossible. She gets in this school. And so she's from Alabama, and she went, and that Talladega's pretty close, about 30 minutes from Birmingham, going east. And they have that racetrack, that's what everybody, but she said, Larry, if you ever want to go on a sketching trip, she said, that Talladega, the town of Talladega, is absolutely one of the most unspoiled, gorgeous places you could ever take a group. And you're going to absolutely love it, man.
Get us a place.
No, we're gonna go and stay for a week, Joe.
Oh, let's do
All
it.
right.
Let's
No, I mean that's
do
what.
it.
Well, I've been wanting to do that thing again, like we did in Mississippi.
Yeah.
I just hadn't been thinking big enough.
No,
Yeah,
that's
no,
right.
You know,
we-
because it's
man.
hard to go back to Mississippi now. I mean, the way everything is, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, well, we can go to Talladega. I
Oh,
love
And,
the name.
sure.
I just love the
Yeah,
name.
and it's
It's a one-day drive.
and this is a lady that
Sure.
knows, man. She knows, she's from Alabama, but she knows what I like, and
Uh-huh.
she's kind of been with me off and on, even
Good.
though she hadn't been here like you all have, man. She came back with her daughter and took the whole course again.
So what's Talladega close to?
Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
And you drive like you drive in Atlanta. Ooh, look at
Look at
this.
that.
But you don't have to go through Atlanta.
Hey, you know, can you bring that back next week and I'll put a mat on it for you?
I'll leave it here for,
Oh, if you don't mind, leave it then, okay? Because,
I love it.
oh yeah, man, that mat, you want to take it home and show it off with that mat on it.
Bye, Larry.
Thank y'all.
Good night,
Good to see
guys.
y'all here.
See ya.
And actually, Sarah, what it is, look at the way I just didn't worry about that thing and went in there and put that stuff in. And look at, now I'm not gonna keep, we're gonna stop in just a minute here.
Yeah, time flies when you're having
And
Yeah,
if I can get to where I can see I can finish in a couple of minutes. So here's what I'm gonna do. See, while it's wet,
Good night, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
thank y'all. I was kind of hoping to
Throw
get
some of them
yeah.
impressionistic
While
bricks
it's
in there.
exactly, Joe. While it's still wet. See, 'cause boy, that line work. Now that's what does it. Now you see, this is getting a little, but man, I'm going crazy with these blues.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I'm just gonna stay with it. Now see here, I want to get a little bit more of that darker. This is where I don't mind using this black at all.
Look at that on the TV.
Does the job, doesn't it?
They knock your socks off.
Well, Sarah, she said that all the homes are preserved, and it's just like no other place I've ever seen. That's the way she told me. Where you just feel like you're going back in time.
Man, let's go up and paint.
Let's go.
And it's,
Good night,
hey,
good
thank
night.
you, Bob. And what we can do is we can like, it's close enough to Birmingham where they got places close by. We get a nice hotel, man.
Sure.
And so it's funny. She just told me at the right time, but because I've been missing, you know, all the kind of stuff we used to do. And now, see, this is where. So we're just gonna look into that, okay?
I would love to go. I would absolutely love
Well, and I
to
think
go.
if we could probably find some golf courses around there.
Oh,
'Cause
no, we're
I'm-
gonna leave Richard.
okay.
We'll leave him right at home.
Sorry.
I'm serious.
I wonder if Sybil's trying to tell me something when
Yeah,
she
she's
told me. She
encouraging
says, "Don't you think you'd like to take a trip for a week or so at Christmas by yourself for a change?"
I would be a little suspicious.
Well, I think she. Yeah. Oh man, I wondered how I got those. Now see, this is where you get that little
Yeah,
reckless stuff
that's it.
going in there.
All them bricks back in the shadow there.
Okay, now, can y'all give me about 5 more minutes?
I can.
No, Joe, I'm gonna keep Joe up past it. Can you?
I'm not driving tonight.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
my aerobics class is not until 9:30 in the morning.
Well, I'm not even gonna ask anymore. Well, that's good, because I know you really, it makes a difference, especially if you have to drive and. Well, Joe, you don't have, did you, did you say something about you only have one eye? Do you only,
That's
You-
revision.
did you
No,
only
he-
have one eye?
He,
Me?
Yeah.
he
I've
didn't-
got, one eye that sees things like, if you look at a straight line, like the line down the wall, it does this.
Well, you know what?
And if
Y'all
I
can't
look
believe.
up and down, that moves up and down with it. There's a bad place in my retina on that eye.
But
Well-
you drive very well.
Yes, indeed.
Very, very
Well, the reason I asked, Joe, is the fact that y'all be surprised the stuff I'm learning about y'all in those videos.
I'm amazed at what you forgot.
And I'm
'Cause you were here.
amazed at what I'm learning about me.
Yeah.
Have we changed a whole lot?
No, just stuff about you like that. Joe
Oh.
mentioned that one time on there. And I, you know, I had forgotten. I never really paid that much attention to it. So,
But your mind is an interesting thing. Your brain, it sees everything straight. But if I close my good eye and look at a straight line, then it's got the big curve in it,
That is really strange.
and the curve moves. If I look up, the curve is up there, and it just moves down.
Wow.
Well, they said they could fix it, but they didn't really want to.
I understand. Look, it's just like Sybil's nervous about this place here.
Uh-huh.
He said, leave it alone. I'll leave it alone, man.
Yeah.
You know, because
I
that's all.
saw to go by my doctor.
Huh? That's what I
I mean,
do,
that's what
man.
I'm paying for.
I trust the doctor, and
Yeah.
if that's what he says, I'm gonna go along with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've never really had any problems with that. Her family, like her daddy, had all kind of facial cancers, you know. So that's what she's thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay, now, whew,
That's-
man, do you think that's
that is
okay?
No, I think it's-
magnificent.
That's all we're
Yes.
looking at is the wire and a little bit of
I'm
stuff
anxious to
over
get
here.
that gauge,
Yeah,
you know.
turn
Okay,
around,
okay.
Larry, and look at the TV.
Yeah, it looks
God
good.
almighty,
Isn't that
pretty?
something?
We're
That
gonna
is
leave
just
that sucker and
incredible.
not overdo it.
That is just
Man,
incredible.
thank y'all for bearing with me. See, Sarah, that's gonna be perfect for doing this gate. You
Mhm.
keep talking about how you like that area, and if I'd have
Yes.
made it as dark as I wanted to make it, it would have ruined it. So,
Isn't it wonderful when things just work out so well?
well, you know, and they generally will, you know, when you're in that zone and you just, okay, now let's, trying to figure what this is gonna be, make up your gate as you go along technique. Okay, that's
I
gonna go.
love the way you did that purple at the bottom.
That's gonna come over to here. Okay, and then we're gonna make one of these suckers. It's gonna go up almost to the top. We're gonna make one of these things go right down the middle. I tell you, I could tell you all so many wonderful stories about this, I never, this is one place I just never did go into much. I mean, I walked by it my whole life. I never was, I mean, I was just intrigued with the building and the architecture. That's one of the greatest things that I'm so thankful for in my experiences growing up in New Orleans. Because this architecture, to me, I have never gotten over it, never will get over it. And
Well, I don't know how many paintings I've done of this thing and parts of it, and they always sell well.
that's what I told somebody earlier, and that particularly that one of that window, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we call that one Joe's window, huh? Well, I hate it's like it is right now, where I tell you, like, I got one of my students that has that place down in the quarter, you know, and they go down there every weekend. And they've been doing it for 20-something years, and begs us, you know, and she means it. She's one of those kind of people that if she says, you know, she wants to come and entertain you, that's what she means. And as hard as it would be to believe, she wants us to use her facility as a restroom, and just if we need water or just anything we need, a little snack, you know, she'd have it all. She loves to do it. We'll do it, but I'll tell you, I still,
Well, it may need
When
to
I-
take the Elite 8 down there rather than
but yeah, that's right, Joe.
everybody.
But honestly, when I still follow something that I always remember and from the Bible and the Apostle Paul, it's got to either be yea or nay. And when it's not conclusive, I just leave it alone. I don't have any indecision. If I don't feel 100% right about doing something, draw a symbol up a wall, and I'll change my mind a dozen times, you know. But I just don't do it.
No, and finally, in the long
If it
run,
ain't
you
right,
decide not to
it
do
ain't
it.
right. You know?
That's the way I feel.
There's too many
And
things you can do that you feel pretty sure about.
I just
Jump
feel,
in.
you know, and I'm just gonna put a little bit more. Oh man, thank y'all for hanging in there with me, because I'm just.
I
How's
wouldn't
that
miss
look on
that.
that?
I
Oh
wouldn't
man, now
miss
see,
that for anything.
then that doesn't, see, this almost takes too much attention away from this. I like the way this whole area is doing over here now. All right, let's go down to the last part now. Let me just throw a few bricks down there, and then we're gonna call it finished. God, man, look at that.
Yeah, that's very spectacular.
Okay. Now, I'm not even gonna fuss with too much of this up here, because I want to put me a little foliage in it. Man, we were talking the other morning, and I don't know how somebody brought in a picture of Kitty to give to her, and I couldn't remember which sketching trip it was, you know. And so as I went through the picture, I wasn't even conscious. I said, now wait a minute, is this the one that Helen had those black leotards on? And then I told the rest of the story. I said, now wait a minute. When I look at that building, I think that's the one Joe went in the woman's bathroom.
Oh, no,
That
it
wasn't
can't be, it can't be.
No,
That's
Joe, it
never happened.
nothing. I mean, that wasn't intentional. Nobody's saying that, but you know, and so many those things we got to talking about, I couldn't figure why Joe's name kept coming up, man. He said, "Oh man,
Yeah.
you know, I tell you what, thank y'all because when I'm on a roll like this, it just." And then you see when I do that and it's a little too strong, I just come back and connect it a little bit like that. See.
Well, you don't know how much it helps us to watch you do
Well,
this.
I tell you what,
How
just
much we
doing
learn.
this has been like the biggest inspiration for me through the years. To, you know, and just trying a lot of different things. And as you all know, you know, y'all been right there with me. And it's just a lot of people say, well, why don't you do that in other classes? I said, well, because they want me to do it, and they, you know, they hang in there with it, and they focus. And
Because it's the highlight of the night.
well, it is to me,
It
man.
is. It
And I
absolutely
tell you, I'm gonna eventually make this thing to where I'm gonna extend it to an hour if y'all want me to.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful.
Okay.